The Doe and Five O's coming up. Yeah, they gon' talk about Florida, cause it sucks. Yeah, they gon' talk about politics, news and stuff. Yeah, they gon' talk about cause it's funny. So what? Yeah, they gon' talk about it.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Doe and 5-0 Show. We're going to kick things off where a man with 278 penis piercings says his sex life is great.
Blow, chicka, blow, blow.
Look at that handsome devil there.
I'm doing some quick calculations in my head.
That's right, 278 piercings.
Like piercings all the way through, or
I don't know.
I don't know how that. What, do they have earrings? They don't even have ears.
Look at this guy. He did.
Ah!
This 61-year-old man has got a staggering 200. Passe Jack. This 61-year-old man has got a staggering 278 piercings on his penis, but claims that he still has great sex.
Whoa!
Rolf Becoles holds a Guinness World Record for having a total of 453 metal piercings all over his body. And unbelievably, his commitment to body art and alterations goes beyond that with numerous tattoos, including some on his eyeballs.
That's not art.
The German has even has horn implants on his head. But believe it or not, this hasn't been a lifelong thing for him, as he waited until he was 40 to get his first piercing. Despite what some may deem as an excessive amount of piercings, the world record holder insists he still has a normal sex life. He told the Daily Star, "It's not a problem at all. If there's a problem, I would have gotten rid of them already a long time ago." Between his legs, this is the only place where he has clustered his collection of piercings. The telecom worker has a total of 94 piercings in and around his lips. He also has a scarification across his face with around 90% of his body covered in tattoos and implants. However, the one modification that really sticks out in the memory for him in terms of how painful it was having the palm of his palm tattooed. He said of it, "The body modification changed only my outside. The symbol-like tattoos are inked on all 5 fingers with a large graphic covering the entirety of his palm."
Freak.
Ooh, what a freak show.
Ugh. But the most painful one was the palm of his hand,
That's right.
not anywhere else.
2 New Zealand gang associates were arrested after trying to smuggle a car full of KFC chicken, French fries, and 10 tubs of coleslaw into Auckland during a lockdown.
Wait, did you say like gang?
Gang.
Yeah.
2 New Zealand men were arrested on Sunday after attempting to cross the Auckland border with a car full of KFC, French fries, and 10 tubs of coleslaw. The police identified the pair as gang associates and found over 100,000 New Zealand dollars, that's 70,000 US, in cash, and empty ounce bags alongside a large amount of finger-looking good food. The vehicle did a U-turn and sped off trying to evade the cops, and they noticed the car driving down a gravel road near the border. Auckland officials were enforcing strict travel restrictions amid a citywide lockdown after a surge in COVID-19 cases. With restaurants closed, the residents who break travel rules to purchase fast food outside the city risk fines of up to $8,400 or 6 months of jail time. The second set of charges this month involving takeout food. Last week, a 20-year-old man was charged in breaking health orders when he left Auckland in search of McDonald's, which he documented on his TikTok. As the business reopened Tuesday around midnight, 40 cars were waiting in line outside the Mickey D's. And by 1 a.m., customers clogged the road and they wrapped around the corner. Hell's Pizza's CEO Ben Cumming told the Stuff reporter Glenn McConnell that Auckland fast food outlets were anticipating about double their normal demand as the city downgraded from level 4 to level 3 restrictions.
So if those guys got caught, though, they had about $70,000 or $100,000 in their currency, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was what kind of fine was it? Like 8,000.
Yeah, it was around 8,000-9,000 or 6 months in jail, up to 6 months in jail.
So couldn't they just pay the fine? And how does that work? Where they confiscate your food?
I don't know. How would you feel would you rather pay the fine or would you rather them steal your KFC?
Pay the fine.
I've seen your diet. I've seen him eat a bucket of KFC for breakfast, cold. Ugh. Joe's gonna outlive us all. Once the apocalypse hits, there's gonna be 2 things left: weeds and Joe DeRozier. All right, one more story. A man was jailed for repeatedly calling 911 to tell him he was tired.
He looks tired.
He does look tired. A man from the United States has been jailed after repeatedly making nuisance calls to emergency services to tell them that he was tired. Obviously, the main job of 911 is to find out where people in distress are. That's why they've got some pretty sophisticated technology to find out who is calling them. By virtue of a happy accident, that also means you can be traced if you're constantly calling them to tell them what you're up to. Further to that, they're not really keen on people holding up the line in case someone genuinely is in distress and having an emergency, so they don't take too kindly on people calling 911 to waste their time. Now, according to court reports obtained by the Smoking Gun, that's exactly what 61-year-old Daniel Schroeder is looking at spending the next 2 months in his local county jail for. Schroeder, who is from Indiana, was taken into police custody Tuesday night in connection with 4 phone calls that he made on that evening, stating he was tired. The full police report reads, officers were dispatched to the address above that we'll keep out of this report for general complaint. Officers were advised that a male caller kept calling and stating he was tired. Dispatch informed their officers that he called 911 4 times that evening. Officers placed the offender into custody for misuse of the 911 system. What's more, this wasn't the first time that the emergency services had heard from him. He made the nuisance calls the day after he pled guilty of calling 911 to express his anger towards a relative who was not following his rules. The report adds that he received a 6-month jail sentence for that first offense, but then he was suspended on the condition that he does not call 911 unless he actually has an emergency. He did plead guilty to violating that condition and was ordered to spend 60 days behind bars. That will run concurrently with the amended sentence in the first 60 days he was issued. You ever call 911 for a goofy reason?
Never called 911.
Takes all kinds, Joe. It takes all kinds. Well, we appreciate you guys tuning in. It's been a pretty good slew of stories over the last couple of weeks, we think, and starting in the following week, we'll probably start throwing in some skits there for you, so get ready for that insanity coming your way.
We could make up stories and nobody would know.
How do you know these aren't made up?
Looking at your computer.
Maybe I designed all that and took the time to design all
Like
that.
you have time to do that. You have 12 kids, don't you?
It's 14.
14 kids. 14. And a wife and a dog.
I don't know if you can really classify that as a dog. I mean,
how big is it?
Where's a diaper, for God's sakes?
Max wears a diaper now.
Yeah, but he's old.
He's really old. Our puppy's 15.
Well, you that
dog doesn't know where he's outside or inside anymore. Yeah, I should be wearing one soon. And it's just so much trouble.
All right. Well, we appreciate everybody tuning in. We will see you guys about a few more days, and we'll start throwing in some skits in there for you too. So thanks for tuning in, listening along, and we'll catch you guys next time.